Welcome to another episode of Adeek, Shoft, the greatest podcast ever في الوطن العربي, الشرق الأوسط, the Middle East, Egypt, all these countries. My name is Hashim الجرحي, الفنان الكاتب المخرج and podcaster, apparently. And we're live. Hi, guys. This is super awkward. Yo, this is not supposed to be live. I'm going to cry right now. Oh, okay. So, because I got rudely interrupted, no, I'm just joking. This is episode 5 of Adeek Shoft. Adeek Shoft is a podcast about شنفهمكم الأول. I'm here with two lovely guests, two lovely ladies, the motherfucking original gangsters of the Vested Summit, because they be doing conscious tech. محدش فاهم يعني ايه conscious tech. وانا مش فاهم يعني ايه conscious tech. So I think they're gonna be like, yo, this is what conscious tech is about.
ولا احنا فاهمين على فكرة.
Boom! I love it! What is happening right now? What is happening? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Man. Please talk to me. No. So this podcast is here because these guys are they're my friends, guys. And I'm happy that thank you guys. I want to introduce my guests from in front of me. Dami's right now. Are you live streaming my podcast? She's live streaming my fucking podcast.
I'm live streaming his podcast.
Cool. So, it could work one day. Okay, so, Demi, the lovely ladies. I know one of them. I don't know the other, but we just connected because she's just like a lovely, bubbly soul. And we're like, oh my God, our souls connect, guys. Please help me welcome the co-founders of the Vesta Summit. I wish I had a team like you guys. I wish I had a co-founder like you guys, because it's such a beautiful, amazing relationship that you guys have, amazing dynamic, and we want to explore that today.
أخدك بس وأقول لك إن إحنا co-founders of Scale Up Ventures.
Boom! Fist bump to that.
Clear. Scale Up Ventures,
Okay.
Vesta Summit.
So how you gonna invest in الحزب الكوميدي? Go. No, I'm just
Is it conscious tech?
It's conscious because people be like, oh shit, he said some real shit. So I want to welcome you guys. I haven't welcomed you guys, Lissa. With me is the one, the only Sherry Be Happy on the Instagrammers, and Sherin Wafaai.
Wafi's cool too.
Wafaai because she's American. She's not American, but
Sherry Waffle.
Sherry Waffles. Yo, I got Sherry Waffles in the studio. And I got Salma. What's your last name?
Hariry.
Boom! Salma Hariry, because she's free in her mind. I don't even know if that makes sense, but we're just gonna go with it. We're here live at our Arcast studio, the one, the only Arcast studio. Shout out to Arcast, our producers, Ahmed Asadi and his team. So we're here in the El Makar new headquarters, and we're going to ask these lovely ladies a bunch of questions. When I say we, I say me, myself, and myself, you know.
We're ready.
Because I have insecurities. All right. So that was a great intro for great human beings. So let's cut to the chase. Okay, so who are you guys? تفضلوا. One at a time. Go. Stop it. Go ahead. All right. تفضلي. عرفي الناس بحضرتك.
من هي سلمى الحريري؟
من هي سلمى؟
CEO Scale Up Ventures.
Yeah.
سلمى حريري مصرية.
Why are you so nervous? You're just talking. عادي ممكن تكلميني عادي يعني.
No, I'm Egyptian.
Nice. I'm Egyptian too.
Yeah.
No.
We all are.
I'm half.
Are you really?
I'm only half. But
Okay.
Salma continue.
Okay.
No, we can actually do this. That's more fun.
We're gonna do like a duet intro.
duet, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That should be fun.
I mean, you should just go with it. Well, it's not an interview. It's just a podcast. That's it. Yeah. Don't be under pressure, you know.
No, I'm not under pressure. I'm just
Under
thinking,
pressure. All right. So,
I don't want to. I want to get the authentic out.
boom. Let me help you. How was your day yesterday? Boom. I hit it. I know.
Wow.
I know.
Yesterday, what happened yesterday? I had many meetings.
Boom. Yeah, you guys heard it in Adeek Shoft. Salma Hariry had many meetings. Okay, so
Start again.
how many people are?
We had-
الصوت اتسجل بس هو
We have two at the moment.
2 people? What's up, 2 people?
Say hi to people.
2 people.
It's 3 people now.
It's 3 people now! You get a podcast. You get a podcast.
Anyways, hi Konza. My cousin from Finland is on.
You have a cousin from Finland?
Because I'm half Finnish.
You're half Finnish. That explains the height.
Yeah, so you don't have to be jealous anymore. I'm just genetically superior.
Oh, wow.
It's good that it's on pause.
Sister.
It's good that it's on pause. That's good. Okay, now I'll be nice. No, it's rolling.
It's rolling.
Just be yourself. If you're a white supremacist.
Yeah, it's me. A caramel white supremacist.
Privileged. Hashtag privileged people.
Are we still recording here?
It is, yes.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna stop talking now.
All right, cool. So, because this is the strangest fucking episode that I've ever done, but we're here and we're gonna see it through.
طيب هقول لك two fun facts.
Hit me with 2 fun facts.
When was the first time I ever met this lovely lady?
When was the first time? When?
When I was 9 years old on the bus.
On the bus? Did she pick on you because she was taller?
لا, she used to be very grumpy وبتحط كحكة كده بشعرها وتروح تقعد ورا من اللي بيحبوا يقعدوا قدام ويتكلموا مع السواق.
I'm at the back of the bus kind of girl.
Oh, she's the cool kid.
Yeah,
You're like that.
لا, she's like, I don't give a shit about this bus or this school kind of
Yeah.
kind of kid.
I was getting beat up in the back of the bus, so, you know.
It's probably me.
Probably. Someone like you, probably her name was Karen or something. Because all 12 girls are Karen. It's fun fact. What's the second fun fact? Tell me.
The second fun fact is we became co-founders on a Facebook Messenger call.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did
She got me at my most.
Do you want to be my co? I don't say this.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I just finished my doctorate. I do like computer-human interaction because I want to make the connection between humans and systems better.
Time out. Rewind. Doctorate? Like you have a PhD?
I have a PDeng, it's a professional doctor in engineering. It's like a 2-year practical doctor, all design, all user experience.
Way to make everyone in this room feel more of an idiot.
You're all lovely people from the inside.
Okay.
No, but so I had just finished it. I was like, oh my God, I have a doctor. Everyone's going to want to hire me. I'm amazing. And then I wasn't getting any jobs.
I like when she got up in the morning. I have a doctor.
Yeah.
People love me.
I mean, you'd expect like after all that, you'd be like, "Ooh, it's gonna be life. It's gonna be a breeze from now." But no, it wasn't. So I had a lot of free time on my hands, and then. So I wanted to do volunteering, my design skills for refugees and stuff, and I was posting a lot, and I was volunteering, and Salma saw that, and then so she started sending me opportunities. With another awesome person, Mike Clark, that if we can get into, we'll talk about. And then she said, she caught me at my most vulnerable point. Like, I'm jobless. I want to help people.
Okay.
What now? And she's like,
That sounds
hey.
mean.
She's like, hey, I have a startup and I want to help people. I want to make the startups' dreams come true. We want to help startups in emerging markets get access to the global resources that they'll never get access to.
Okay.
Do you want to help me? And I'm like, yes, yes, 1,000 times yes.
Wow. You guys got
She's
married
so
on Facebook.
We are.
Facebook.
We're like married,
All right.
work married. She's my work wife.
She's my work wife. Yeah. That sounds like a rap line. Yo, it's my work wife. That's great. That's great.
It's funny because we were never really that close. We were never friends. Like, yeah, we went to school together, and then we went to AUC together, and then بعديها like we've been following each other on Facebook. Like she's like. And I think you had like this moment of like ارجع ما ارجعش هروح مصر اعمل ايه ورا it's like this kind of thing. And I had this like weird thing because I also did my master's in San Francisco.
أصلاً.
وقعدت عشت 4 سنين هناك.
أصلاً. Wow.
وفتحت accelerator وعملت حاجات غريبة.
فتحتي accelerator in San Francisco?
Yes.
That takes ovaries of steel. Fucking fist bump.
Ovaries of steel. I love that.
Yeah, come on.
Steel.
Thank you.
I mean,
I love that.
do you like it, mate? I mean,
Hashtag ovaries of steel.
ovaries of steel, guys. You guys, let's guys. The one person here, ovaries of steel. Hashtag ovaries of steel. Remember that.
Hashtag
Iron
of the
women
day.
wish, yeah.
Hashtag of the
Are we gonna make ovaries of steel a thing?
Yeah. Hashtag over
and conscious tech. Let's just
conscious
focus
tech,
on that.
When I host the vested conscious tech that you guys are gonna do, I'm like, And if for one thing I could remember about these ladies, it's definitely that they have ovaries of steel.
I think that's how you should open.
That's how I should start.
That's how you should start everything.
So continue telling me.
No, we're special.
Yeah, no.
So that,
Yeah. No, let me shock you more. I was only 25 when I started this accelerator.
Mashallah. Mashallah. Can we get
Mashallah. Mashallah.
Nice. That's really good. That's amazing. I started high school comedy when I was 25.
Oh, really?
Mashallah.
Yeah. But nobody thought it was funny. My dad's like, what are you doing with your life? And I just paid this college tuition. What are you, like, يعني مش فاهم. He's like, go get a job. I'm like, no, Daddy, I don't want to get a job. I'm an artist. Don't support me so I can thrive. And he's still not supporting me.
And you're thriving.
I don't know
Look
if I
at
am.
this. We're in a studio.
In a
Yeah,
studio.
we are.
And
Making funny stuff.
making fun stuff. We should do this more.
لازم نعمل له حاجة زي هاشتاج I'm
لا،
ovaries.
بس
So it's more about you. It's more about you guys. Right?
Hey, it's okay,
So
we
we
can
just
support you
literally
too.
we have like less than half an hour and we only do one question. So should we get to it? Should we be a little bit serious?
Yeah.
Should we get to the juice? All right. So talk to me about your struggles, both of you. What is your كفاحة? So كفاحة, is that right? Did you get that right? Yeah. Where did you find yourself like struggling in everything and not just vested? Because I know vested is new.
For me,
Yeah.
it was this like identity crisis thing.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Has nothing to do with vested. Okay.
لا, it's always been this like who am I? عايزة أعمل إيه? Why am I here? It's like all of these existential questions.
Wow. The deep.
And I've constantly like found myself battling with trying to figure them out. Especially my dad passed away when I was 17.
Allah yarham.
الله يرحمه. And this like threw me off. It's like should I start college وابقى فرحانة ومبسوطة وبعمل حاجات كتير?
Yeah.
Or should I just like work and like focus on being the best and like the best version of myself and like support myself in all this?
Sure.
And then I kept on telling myself this should be for a good cause. This should be for a good cause. This should be for a good cause.
Sure.
I've actually never mentioned this anywhere.
Just
so
be
funny, like
say it, sister.
being very
Say it,
vulnerable,
sister.
very
Say
vulnerable.
it. Say what's in your qalb, Just
Yeah,
say,
it's-
just say you're on
it's-
Adeek Shoft because everybody sees Adeek Shoft. Like I mean, like that's the whole point
Yeah.
of an Adeek Shoft is Salma Hariry, not on a conscious stage summit or on the vested stage summit. It's different. So just let it out, sister.
Yeah. بس إنه in general I kept on telling myself إنه أكيد when my dad passed away that early is like أكيد this is for a good thing. It's like a good cause. Like
Sure.
there's some goodness that has to come out of it.
Sure.
And I tried to kind of count my blessings instead of doing the opposite, which is being sad. And
I like that actually.
yeah,
That's good.
and counting my blessings was like I'm privileged. Yes, I'm born in Egypt, but I'm born at the like upper middle class Egypt. I'm very well educated.
Okay.
I'm smart.
Nice. You got it. I had to throw it in.
Smart.
Privileged.
Smart and ovaries of steel.
Upper class, but
Yes.
just very smart. Just have to throw that in there. Very smart. Okay.
And then
You guys are lovely.
It's just-
You guys are good
thank
talker.
you.
You guys are good energy. Talker ega fucking beya.
the whole idea was to يعني إنه there are people in the world that are actually struggling way more than me,
صح, that's
way
true.
more than me.
100%.
And what are we doing? I mean, I found myself in this like when I was 23 in Silicon Valley, in like the innovation center
Of the world.
And like everyone's building their next big thing, and like we're going to Mars, and like we're building the future, and like Elon Musk and hashtag like motherfucker Airbnb and unicorns and stuff.
I have to laugh at it online because it's like, yo, we're going to Mars. Okay.
Because we've screwed up this planet so much, we're like, we need to get off. We need a plan B, but there is no plan B. I mean,
I
we're
told
not
him to
going
my
to see
dad,
that.
he's like عايزين طالعين الفضاء عشان يدوروا على ربنا. I was like, I think that's the best explanation, not for human No, بدور على ربنا. I'm like, okay.
God isn't within you, darling. God is within you.
I like that. But they want to colonize Mars.
I know, and Elon Musk wants to die on Mars.
Yeah, وحاجات جميلة قوي. المهم إنه like when you find you're like this identity crisis person, you're very sad, and you're 23, and you find yourself in the epicenter of the world, and you're like, okay, everything's possible. Everything's like you breathe tech. You go to like zillions of events. I went to 379 events.
Holy monkey nuts, Batman.
In 3 years.
Wow.
I literally counted them.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? In my heart, do I want to be American? Do I want to live here? Do I want to be in the Valley? Do I want to work in one of these big tech companies?
I see how she's like, I'm going for that right
Do
now.
you? No.
Or do I wanna do something good with the world and like share this network, share this knowledge? And honestly, I'm like,
I can totally read your mind now. I can totally read her mind. But yeah, so continue.
I'm super excited about like the next generation of technology. Like I call it the revolution 4.0.
4.0? Not that you mean.
Like خلاص هم عملوا 2.0 وعملوا 3.0 فاحنا بقى بنعمل 4.0 دلوقتي.
Okay.
27.
Which is like really like the underdogs in emerging markets اللي هم بقى ايه فعلا عايزين يحلوا مشاكل مواصلات وتعليم وعايزين الناس الفقيرة اللي هم ماشيين طول النهار والليل في وسطهم دول يبقوا سعداء. يعني
but you ever heard the term I get that and I'm for that. That's why I do comedy, because I want to please people and make them happy and take them out of the whole sadness والكآبة اللي هم فيه. احنا في مصر يعني الناس مكتئبة جدا. I try to do that with comedy. I understand, but have you ever heard the term? I'm sure you have. Can't please everybody, so.
Yeah, of course.
No, of course you can't please everybody, but
I'm not trying to be like a cynic or a pessimist. I'm the most optimistic person in the world. Like I got an award for it.
I do believe in احنا دلوقتي we're seeing the rise of superhumans. And what I mean by superhumans is that, you know, كل واحد فينا عارف إن هو يوصل لل truest potential بتاعه. But like this, like luxury is only available for a segment of people. Finnish, Norwegians, Swedish, Americans, mostly Europeans. وبقية العالم بيكح تراب.
بس مش كل الناس بتفكر بالطريقة دي يعني the whole movement of like motivation and being the best.
هي بتقول على نفسها half Finnish بس البنت دي زاهدة أصلا يعني هي مش عايزة riches of the world. She just wants to help people.
I'm a hippie at heart.
So what's your
I like to
struggle?
call myself hippie techie.
Hippie techie. Like I call myself a comedianpreneur, but nobody gets it.
Who cares? Just say whatever you want to say.
So what's your struggle? Because I like your. This is really a profound episode. Like, wow, you guys are fucking blowing me. I'm about to cry right now. God.
You can. The tissue over there.
All right, it's heavy. All right, let's go. Continue.
Okay, struggle. I mean, it's always an inner struggle, but the inner struggle can be applied to everything.
Sure.
So a story I like to tell. So when we were organizing the last Vested Summit.
The first one, you mean?
Oh yeah, the first and the last one. No, the next one's coming up very, very soon. But on our way, you know, after 3 months of organizing, we really jam-packed all the organization into a couple of months. Like we were just like, hey, we're gonna do it in 2.5 months. So we scrambled, we hustled our asses off to make this happen.
Sure.
And on our way to Guna, which is where it was last year, our biggest sponsor pulls out. It was a big number, let's say, a chunk of money that we're 4 or 5 days from the summit and we're like, the money is gone. Okay. So you have 2 choices. You can completely crumble and die, right? Sure. And be like, fuck, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Or you need to look at that moment between where something, you know, triggers you to how you're gonna respond. Sure. And that's where the magic is. In that super...
I just felt the magic right now.
That super uncomfortable moment where something goes, fuck you, and then you have to go, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And that deep breath, if you take that moment and really think about what we're going to do, that's going to be a much bigger reflection on your personality and your personal growth. And we grew a lot, of course.
I think I'm in that current moment right now in my life because I just had a big show and I reached a point where I was like, خلاص I've been doing this for 7.5 years, and I was always saying to myself, Lana, if I get sponsors for my event, خلاص, I'm gonna have a budget to spend. I'm gonna fill out the show. And I had Ewart Hall, right? And I was expecting 600-700 people, and I got 300 in a 900-seater venue. فكانت صدمة بالنسبة لي. Okay, now what?
300 is a good number, man.
Not in a 900 venue.
It looks
So I can say that. I can be like, that's great. No, I'm not complaining. Alhamdulillah, I'm not gonna be like, why? No, I'm not. Alhamdulillah. But for y'all seeing this, you know what I'm saying? Comedy's hard. For me personally, when I look at that and I look at the outcome after I put these goals, Lana, again, I also look at it. When I have this, you know, we always have that طريقة تفكير, that consciousness thought, you know, that we're always thinking like, okay, when I have this, I'll be happy. Or when I do this, right? So I was thinking I'll be successful when I fill up this venue. And it didn't happen. So alhamdulillah for the results. But then I just wanted it to happen. I told my dad, I was like, I just wanted this to fill up so I can be like, hey, you know what? I was right, Dad. I don't want to say like, fuck you, Dad. That's too much. Like, fuck you, Dad. No, 'cause I'm not going to do that to him طبعا, because أنا متربيتش على كده to disrespect يعني. But so I'm just saying, like, in the back of my mind, I want to quiet down that voice that talks to me all the time that's like, Hashim, no. It's constantly battling. Should I continue or should I not? طب الناس مش فاهماك. طب أنت أمريكاني أو أنت مش فاهم المصريين. ما عندكش حصة الفكاهة بتاعهم, the لغة الفكاهة, the sense of humor and stuff like that. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, no, funny is not it's not constricted by language. And the thought that I had before going on stage 2 weeks ago for that show, I put this thought in my head and I started like meditating on it. Not like but between my head before going on stage, and I was like, I was saying to myself, I was like, language is not my barrier, it's my catapult. Language is not my barrier, it's my catapult. Nice. It's my catapult. It's my catapult. Then I went on stage and I bombed. It was horrible. I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. No, I had fun, alhamdulillah. And that's what's important. And I tell that to my dad. I'm like, he's like, no, you're not funny. كنت أوطى واحد من الناس. And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, dude, you understand like that this comes naturally to me to want to be on stage because it makes me happy. And he's like, انت بتقول نفس الإفيه اللي انت بتقوله من 5 سنين. I'm like, 10 سنين, Dad.
Correction.
Yeah. And he's like, ايه هشيم ده وايه اللي تتريق على تيتا ما اعرفش ايه. And I'm like, they love that joke, and I heard laughter. He's like, no, they were just clapping for you because they felt bad for you. I'm like, no, Dad.
Like the inner struggle is already loud enough.
No, because my dad he's very real. He's like, okay, and he was very optimistic towards this, and he's like, okay, the way that you're gonna make this event happen, if you cover your costs. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'll cover my costs. And then I'm like, I got sponsored, and he's like, is the money in the bank? And I'm like, not yet, Daddy.
People don't understand.
But then I did. But then when I did get the money in the bank, and he's like, all right, inshallah. And then because he's a CPA, right? He's a certified public accountant. He's my accountant. And then. And he's like, okay, let me draft the numbers. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, all right, these are the scenarios. And he's looking at the number. He's like,
really need his help.
He's like, you're pretty much fucked. And I'm like, no, Daddy, have some hope. I'm like, I'm معتمد على ربنا. He's like, ما كلنا بنعتمد على ربنا. I'm like, all right, this conversation's not going anywhere, Dad. So, but you know, I'm still until now I'm trying to prove my parents wrong, because not for anything but for myself, and I know that I'm on the right track. I want to do this. You know, I have this vision, and then he tells me that my head's up my ass. So. Story of my life, you know. Alhamdulillah.
Wow.
All right, next question. Shall we go? And that was a little bit personal.
That was amazing.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
We all need to hear the personal stories so we can learn from them.
That's where the podcast comes in. All right, so okay, so if you guys were to start all over again, would you?
You mean like life or?
No.
No. My answer is no.
No, I'm saying as an entrepreneur. I know that you're a new entrepreneur. Salma's a bit of a seasoned entrepreneur.
So
would you guys?
فراخ مشوية أنا.
I love فراخ مشوية, girl. You know what I'm saying?
لا أنا بحب
Okay, so would you guys start all over again? Would you do it again?
والله I did it before. I would always do it again and again and again, and I think.
No, I'm saying vested. I'm not saying.
Vested. No, vested is a different story. Of course, I mean, the reason why the reason why we like Vested exists is because it makes me happy that this event is even there. طيب بقول لك yeah of course we would start all over again and I think an event ده طلع في كل واحد فينا ال struggles اللي عنده. Sherin by the way belongs to the product team which I think she'll tell you more about unconscious. This is why احنا اصلا بدأنا الشركة السمت ما كانش يعني ما كانش هو الأساس.
It wasn't the main product.
It wasn't the main product. I mean, it's always been the tech. It's like I believe I want to help millions of entrepreneurs worldwide.
Sure.
And I wanted to create a new kind of experience. And this lady here knows how to influence millions of people.
How? Tell me.
Psychology. Because I'm originally a psychologist.
Yeah.
So I went from psychology to tech, which means I use how your mental model works to design things online.
Sure. Okay.
So the product was the main thing, and then Vested was just for us to really
gather these people and like tell them this is what we believe in.
This is what we believe in, and these are like the strategic people. I wanted the players that I saw in the Valley and all around the world, that the network that I built, to witness the rise of these kind of entrepreneurs in Egypt. And subhanallah, I mean, we believe in Vested, like every single person that touched Vested. Like, let me give you an example. Like, there's almost 150 people that came together to actually put Vested together.
Okay.
It's like we were a team of 10,
okay,
followed by a team of 40 volunteers.
Wow.
100 partners.
100 partners.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like literally 150 people or almost 150 entities that believed in the coming
How did you
formation
convince all those people? Was it her?
I mean, it sells itself, though. I mean,
So, but how do you sell like conscious tech? Like, what does that even mean? Can you just explain what conscious tech is, like in 3 words or 1 word or
tech for good.
tech for good? Okay.
solving
I like
real world problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's-
not just for profit. Let's
No,
make.
it has to be
What would be the
sustainable.
next Uber of life, right?
So the reason we moved away from impact tech or something like that is because it has connotations of an NGO or a donation-based organization.
I like that.
So we made it cool, and we said conscious tech is any tech that you're really aware of what you're bringing to the world. Are you thinking about how this technology that you're building is going to affect people 10 years, 20 years from now? Or are you just building shit for the sake of building it?
Don't most companies call that CSR?
But that's like an afterthought. That's like, hey, we have all this profit, and so people
And
still
we
like
already
us. We're
fucked
gonna
the
help.
planet and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
already did this that فيلا بينا نطلع budget صغيرة نحطها نسميها CSR so that we're doing good for the world.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I like
So
that.
yeah, there's a little bit of evil goodness in that.
But the whole point is
There's
we're
a
saying
little
it.
bit good and in the evil. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Like yin
Yeah,
yang.
it is evil, but it's goodness
Yeah.
في الآخر. بس يعني it's yeah. You got me.
okay.
So the whole idea is like when you're a conscious person, you're conscious about your own contributions, who you are, your values in the world, and what you bring to that. And when you connect بقى ناس كتير that are conscious together, you build collective consciousness. And the places that have collective
As you are, just keep
consciousness
talking.
are like the places that are the most ready for impact or like the most
Susceptible to change.
yeah, exactly. Whoopa. فظيع مريع. Yeah.
Stop it. Come
And
on.
we need that. We're like, there's no planet B. يعني إنه yes, they're going to Mars, بس في الآخر what are we doing? Like, what are we doing to future generations? And then the problem is that like there's like it feels to me like every time I fly somewhere, it's like I'm going on a time machine.
Wow, that's
I
deep.
love that. Every time she says that, I was like, whoa, that's so
so
true.
deep.
Yes, it's so
Wow.
true. It's like, you're like,
like
it's
we
like
talking
you're
about
going
like
between
Egypt,
worlds. Yes,
like
Egypt
Yeah.
and the US, for example,
Oh
or
yeah,
like,
for sure.
حاجة
I mean, I
كده.
haven't been back for 16 years, but
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
We need to get on a time machine, aka
But
a plane.
I went to Dubai last year and the year before that, and I went to the UK in 2014.
لا بس مش time machine قوي هناك
In
يعني.
the UK, London.
UK
No,
طبعا.
UK, yes, for sure.
I bought a
بس
SIM
Dubai,
card
no.
from a vending machine. I told them that they're like, okay, وبعدين انت عملت ايه في الحياة? I'm like,
Wow.
guys, it's fucking SIM card in the vending machine. Do you know how long I have to stand in customer service?
Yeah, exactly. فين البطاقة بقى؟ مش هتاخد السيم كارد من غير
بالظبط
بطاقة.
ولازم تمضي عقد.
أنا لسه كنت في بيروت الأسبوع ده and then a friend of mine like had this like valet parking thing and then they have this like smart machine where like it's a 2-hour thing like طبيعي زي أي حتة. بيقول لي وانتوا بقى في مصر أكيد عندكم هيك. فقلت له احنا ملوك الركب.
احنا لسه
الباركينج عندنا جميل جدا. احنا بنركب في أي حتة احنا عايزينها.
وحد يجي وتيجي والعربية مش موجودة.
It's because of these things اللي احنا we're not even looking past it. Like احنا لسه ليه why do we have SAYS? Why do we have a traffic officer بيمشي الدنيا? Why aren't the people conscious enough to be patient enough to like understand, hey, like I always do this, it's a really fun game you guys should play when you're in traffic. الإشارة خلاص تبقى حمراء and you come to a stop. Or sorry, تبقى خضراء and you're about to move. There's always one asshole اللي هو he's like, fuck this, it's red, but I'm gonna keep going. And you have to wait for him because if you go on green right away, في واحد هيخبطك 100% 100%.
It's not like abroad where you know green is safe.
وفي حاجة تانية بقى كمان اللي هو أول ما الإشارة تخضر وأنت بقى مستنيها تخضر بقالك كتير لأنك actually واقف بقالك كتير في الإشارة وقفلت وفتحت عليك كتير. And then في واحد جميل جدا بيقرر يعدي مشاه وإشارة خضراء. And I'm like,
it's like 99% of الشعب بيعمل كده. And like I saw a guy, he's like the carrying on his back. Like I'm like, number one question, like, why are you crossing right now when it's green? Number one. Number two, how are you carrying all that, Superman? Like, how, you know?
Egyptians are super people.
Oh my God, the size of them.
And they're super happy. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, Egyptians are, there's always, come on, if you smile at them, everyone will smile back at you. In Europe, if you smile at people, they
think
won't
something's wrong
always,
with you.
they'll think that you're weird. But here, all you have to do is crack the first smile.
No, but I think مش كلهم because at the end of the day when you sit down,
they're not happy by the sense of happiness, but they know how to make the best out of their life even when their life is so shit.
Isn't that what we're all doing every day, trying to make the best out of every situation?
But not everybody has that same outlook, honestly, to be like, I don't think everybody lower يعني is like, because and I had this conversation with, not because I just had the conversation with anybody, like for me personally, and I choose to be happy because that's my go-to, because I went through tragedy, alhamdulillah. You know, I saw my mom suffer every day for 3.5 years. I woke up to her in ailing pain. I was visiting the hospital every other week, and she died. And after I donated 1/3 of my liver to her, you know, after 7 months, and I'm going through that, and I'm still smiling. I'm like, whatever, you know, fuck it, khalas, because I choose to smile over a shitty situation then. And I say this, if we can't laugh at the most difficult times of our life, then we can't live our life accordingly. We can نقدر نمارس حياتنا. And it's so true. It's so true, because I think happiness is a choice. It's not something that
absolutely.
And it depends on who you are. If you're like someone that I'm a big believer of perception is reality. So if you choose to be happy, hatta I remember I posted a picture. It's like, science says that smiling actually makes you happy. Some people are offended. They're like, I'm very offended by it. I'm like, why? Science proved it right, motherfuckers.
I mean, even just believe it for yourself, and why not believe it? Take it as a sign, you know, maybe you should be happier today.
There's this belief. I think it's a Mexican belief, and I'm a big fan of it. It's like, they say you die 3 times.
Ooh, I'm interested. Continue.
So you die the first time, you lose hope in living.
Okay.
So you live like a dead person. And then you die when you die.
Okay.
And then you die.
Shouldn't that be the third one? The last one is like, when you die, it should be.
You die when you die. But the third one is you die when the last person speaks last of your legacy.
Damn.
Oh my God, I'm blown away. Wow.
So that's something I really
said
really
that?
live by. It's like a Mexican belief.
It's like a Mexican thing. I saw it on a Mexican bumper sticker. I'm like, whoa, that's really, where'd you see it? Bumper sticker.
You should have stopped after the wisdom.
burritos.
No burritos. No burritos. كله لايف خلاص.
باي باي.
Wow. I was like, wow, that's really deep. Where do you?
أنا شخصيتين في بعض فاهم.
That was a.
مات مننا خلاص.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
and like she was so into it. She's like, I love where this is going. And I'm so into it. I'm like, okay, continue. So where did you hear that? Some Mexican thing.
Something that Mexicans do.
Mexicans do. Wow.
So thank you, Mexico.
Thank you, man. I'm sure in Spanish it's more meaningful.
For sure.
Okay.
يعني وانا حرفتها عامة.
Okay, let's get to the next one. What advice would you give to your younger selves? Go.
Sherin back.
What advice would I give to my younger self?
Sherin Mafis.
100% take care of your damn self. I'm a admitted people pleaser. It is terrible. It destroys your soul after years of people pleasing and not giving a shit about yourself and putting everyone first. So it's been a few years for me that I'm like, Sherry time. My dad always tell me لازم 10% لنفسك من أي حاجة، من أسرارك، من فلوسك، من وقتك، من كل حاجة. But that's like the minimum. Honestly, everyone says you should give yourself the same amount of love that you give everyone else. Otherwise, it won't be sustainable. Otherwise, it's not going to be authentic love that you're giving, because you're giving. And, you know, sometimes when you're so drained and you're still trying to be nice to everyone and you're like, I can't do this anymore, that you shouldn't get to that depleted state. So if you're taking care of yourself, if you're eating properly,
I'm not.
and exercising and sleeping, and I don't sleep enough for sure, but I mean, I'm super aware of that. Because again, you don't sleep, you don't exercise, you don't eat, you're eating, you're putting poison in your body. Of course you're going to be in a bad mood. Of course you're not going to be productive. So definitely, Sherin, young Sherin, stop doing all the bad things you're doing to your body and take care of yourself. And then take care of everyone else.
I think...
say it, sister.
Yeah, I think, and then I always like this question because it's like... And also the question of like, what would you do? What would you tell your 7-year-old self that would shock them about your life today?
Yeah, life is shit, bro. Deal with it.
And it's like I think in my life, if I would tell the 7-year-old that, you know, you're gonna live in different countries around the world, you're gonna start a company at 25 with a stranger you met 3 times, who's not even from your country, it's half German, half Iranian. And you know you're gonna be in so much debt, and then you're gonna still kind of like this opportunity and want to pursue it and do it again. And then at 26 or 27, you're gonna look around and feel like everyone has progressed with life and you have not.
I feel like that all the time.
And then at 30, you're gonna just be crazy again and start this company with amazing, incredible women. By the way, we're a tribe of women. We're 3 partners, me, Sherin, and Hela. Hela's the one that runs the summit. She's the VP of the summit. She's the one who sketched it من أول يوم. Sherin is the one that runs the product. And I feel like we have a world domination plan that is run by women. So I'm going to tell my 7-year-old self, you know what?
Who run the world?
Who run the world? It's going to be okay.
I like it.
ما تضايقيش نفسك.
Nice.
ما تقلقيش. It's going to be okay.
I think we can close on, not close, I mean, just questions like, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right. Don't worry, be happy. No, I like that, because if I were to tell my 7-year-old self that, I mean, my 7-year-old self would have been like clueless about life, because I'm still clueless about life right now. But yeah, but it's very interesting that you say that, like, that it's okay. We can always advise ourselves to be better, you know. But let's face it, our younger selves were like, they don't want to hear that shit.
They're present. Our younger selves were way more present than we are.
You honestly think so?
Yes, definitely.
They were for sure, but they were also very worried about what's next, and they were always looking. I think we were always kind of like always looking forward to what's next.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying is like try to be here and say it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is okay. I like that. Okay, so what are your biggest challenges?
ما قلنا بقى struggles.
Okay, that's okay. قلنا بقى خلاص خلصنا. We have like 10 minutes literally. Okay, do you feel like you guys made it? And what is your definition of making it?
Made it. No. Whoever makes it. I mean, anyone that's working or being an entrepreneur, it's always about improving and looking at different opportunities. So, I mean, come on. I mean, our struggle, our imposter syndrome and for those who don't know what imposter syndrome is, when you think you're pretending to be someone and everyone knows and someone's going to find out that you're full of shit. So, you're never done learning. And so every day I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I have to go do this course or learn this or hone my talents in something else. So it's never ending cycle.
No, but like the definition of because of an entrepreneur who made it, saying someone that got invested in successfully, made money, had an exit. Look at Kareem, masala. They just got bought out by Uber for
maybe the guy can be like, yeah, I made it. Yeah, I'm done now. Yeah.
But like, I would respond and be like, yeah, it's not your original idea, buddy. Sucker!
Exactly.
I'd be like...
He wanted to IPO. I'm sure that he really wanted to IPO and he was like, he's now, but like... He's drowning in billions now. So
no, but like I don't think you guys think money is the answer.
Made it, exactly. If financial,
it's making it defined by this, by this construct.
I don't like this like making it, but I would say that I'm on track. Okay. I'm on track of being who I am, doing the things I love.
Okay.
I love
that.
Like doing like little self-love things to myself.
Sure.
Discovering who I am, what I dislike, what I like. Okay. Really being conscious out, even when I'm like in this negative, like shit, self-doubt bubble, I'm conscious about it, and I'm conscious about my own insecurities. I mean, that in that case, I feel like I made it with myself.
I like that.
I'm home.
That's very good.
Yeah, I think if we made it not from a success perspective, like from an outside success perspective, but from an internal, I think you can make it at every moment. I think.
Oh man, you guys dropping this. When you're a bunch of 30-years.
I know, right?
We're just dropping knowledge.
Totally the 30-year-old like theme of we're super aware of ourselves.
Like super aware. No, like so you guys believe that we make it every day by learning and being better and being conscious of who we are as individuals growing up in an oppressed society.
You said something really beautiful. You said I'm Hashim.
Yeah.
You said I'm Hashim. I'm not.
No, because all my life I was fucking Hashem. That's my entire life. Wallah, I'm gonna go on stage and do that.
Hashim.
And Hashim, and I wasn't Hashim, khalis, and I have to fight to be Hashim every single day. When even until now, I have this bit about nobody's here. This is the sad part. So I have to fight to be Hashim. I say that because, and I grew up maybe as Hashim in Egypt وما أعرفش إيه. But until I was 5 years old, and then boom, next thing I know, I'm in the States, and I'm Hashem, I'm Hashim, I'm Hash Brown. That became wallahi, and then I move after I owned being Hash Brown. I moved. My dad fucked it all up for us, and wallahi, and then he moved us to the whitest town in like America. It was so white I had to change my name from Hashem to Mitch.
No,
yeah, wallahi. To Mitch.
Mitch?
Yeah, because I liked David Hasselhoff. He was tall. He walked in slow motion. He ran in slow motion with beautiful women, so.
That's funny.
Yeah, wallahi. And then I came back to Egypt. They're like, hey, Hisham al-Garhi. I'm like, you motherfucker. So becoming Hashim, like I said, is my goal, is to be Hashim al-Garhi. Yeah. And al-Garhi is not even my last name, It's just
lies.
My grandfather's name. His name is Muhammad Zaki al-Garhi. For my dad, my full name is Hashim Magdi Muhammad Zaki al-Garhi. Muhammad Zaki al-Garhi being one individual, Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm Hashim al-Garhi. So I'm creating my own identity, like that's who I am. That's who I choose to be, The comedianpreneur that's disrupting the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
بحاول, بس it's we all have these inner struggles, trying to find ourselves. And like a lot of people tell me, you should just stick to organizing. You're good at it. Don't be a comedian. I'm like, I was a born comic. I was doing Schwarzenegger impressions when I was 7 years old. So, like, get to the chopper! You know, like, I was doing that min zaman. And my mom, Allah yarhamha, would tell me that, you're the funny, انت اللي بتضحكنا.
Oh.
I can't.
She helped you discover who you are.
No, she knows that I was Aragos, and all that. And when I found comedy, I wanted to be an actor, like as a kid. But then I found comedy, and I was like, this is what I'm meant to do. This is my passion, And I think that's my happiness. That's what defines happiness. So that's my next question, actually. What defines happiness to you guys? For you guys? What?
That's a hard one.
What is it? It's in.
That's a hard one.
I think there's those moments. There comes these moments in your life.
Yeah.
Where everything just feels like it's okay. There's a moment when you're standing in the kitchen, you just had a sandwich, and you're just looking out the window, and you're going, "I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good."
What kind of sandwich are we talking about? Because I'm like a
good.
sandwich.
With feta cheese, maybe some olive tapenade, maybe some it has to be toasted and crunchy.
Oh, stop it.
It has to be
crunchy. You guys want to go to TBS after this? We're totally going smoked salmon sandwiches. This is really nice, huh? Are you guys having a good time?
I love it.
Stop it. Okay, so let's get back to the question. So what defines happiness for you guys? Go. Who wants to go first?
I'm done.
لا ما هو ما تسجلش.
لا تسجل
لا
معنا.
أنا بتاعي
اللي انت قلتي؟
أنا قلت
طيب.
جو ساندويتش.
ساندويتش. الهابينس ساندويتش بالنسبة لها. لا ساندويتش انت جد.
هنروح أصل it's here.
هنجيب ساندويتشات.
It's TBS is here.
مش معقول هابينس كتير قوي.
So happiness. Okay, so what defines happiness for you?
It's a very deep question, and I think it cannot really be summed up. But when you're surrounded by love, and you feel like on those days when you can count your blessings, يعني I feel like what makes or breaks a person is not on the good days. Not the good days and not the happy moments.
Yeah.
I mean, those are great for everyone.
Sure.
But it's on the shit days.
Yeah.
اللي انت مش قادر تقوم من السرير
Oh my God.
وبتقول انا I just can't face the world. I'm like يعني I'm so much in pain. I can't even get out of bed النهارده.
صح.
And then you get this thought that كل حاجة في حياتك is just a beautiful melody, or like you get this, like I remember this one time I was كان يوم بشع في الشغل. I don't remember بالظبط ايه اللي حصل، بس I remember ان انا كنت مروحة بجد مش شايفة قدامي. وقفت في إشارة، وبعدين جت واحدة بتبيع مناديل and she came to me and قعدت تغني لي. I was like, how strange is that؟ إنه
so
شحاتة هي النهاردة بتغني لي وتقول لي يا جميل يا جميل. أنا apparently أنا بعدي على الإشارة دي كتير، فهي بتشوفني دايما smiling.
Okay.
And on that day she noticed I was not.
Okay.
And she was like يا جميل يا جميل ابتسامته جميل، معرفش حاجة كده with something like that.
Okay.
And وفتحت الشباك and I had this beautiful moment of conversation with her where I felt like she notices me. I passed by here and she notices me and we became friends.
Wow.
من ساعتها. فبقول إنه on those days you get all of these messages.
Of course.
في حاجات صغيرة. The sky is like smiling بشكل معين at you, or like there's this like your favorite color sunset.
Okay.
Or like حاجات عارف صغيرة قوي بس it's just kind of like بتعمل shift في المود بتاعك.
صح.
من حتة وحشة قوي وانت خايف وقرفان و you feel like so much of a human being في اللحظة دي, and then you're reminded that you're a piece of God.
Boom. Whoa.
So it's like this is happiness to me.
I like that. I never thought about it that way. No. I feel like I just feel Anna, for those moments I just say يعني I mean,
and you just have to say alhamdulillah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this morning I said alhamdulillah, I'm a decent looking human being. I'm like, stop it, gorgeous, stop it. You know, like no
self-love.
Yeah, beautiful. Self-love, but with a hint of narcissism.
Yeah,
sure. But I don't think it's narcissism if you're grateful, to be honest. If you're grateful for some for just who you are. Like
There's gratitude, then there's ego.
yeah, my dad tells me I'm autistic. I'm like, bro, didn't you not see my like جايزة for أطيب بني آدم من 2015 أنا كسبتها that I made up in my head just so I can avoid this conversation, daddy. But no, I like gratitude. I think, and I always say this, اللي احنا we have this concept of saying alhamdulillah without actually meaning it, without we don't practice alhamdulillah. We're just like, oh alhamdulillah amma ala kulli haga. It's like, no motherfucker, alhamdulillah. Like for example, I'll give you a small example. When I'm down and don't have much money coming into my pocket or I'm just waiting for the next show so I can have cash flow, right? Or liquidity or whatever, right? For like آخر 200 جنيه معايا مثلا في محفظتي, and my car is on empty, right? And I'm like, all right, I can be upset that I can't get gas right now, or that this is the last 200 جنيه or whatever in my pocket right now, and I have to go into my savings or whatever. Or I can be grateful that I have a car and I have this last piece of paper that's gonna fill up this car with gas. You know, so I say, oh, alhamdulillah, I have a car. It's not mine, it's my brother's. Alhamdulillah, he gave it to me. Yeah, alhamdulillah that I have I have money to fill up my tank. Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed. I feel like that, even though it's not my car, even though I know that I busted my ass and I was never able to buy my own car, but alhamdulillah, you know, I know that I can't afford the MacBook that he gave me because he went to the States and he's like, here, this is yours now. You can do whatever you want with it. So I know that these blessings, they should not be unaccounted for. لازم اللي انت كل حاجة صغيرة. You know, like, no, we're not practicing alhamdulillah. Not everybody like, oh, I'm alhamdulillah ala كل حاجة. It's like, no, get that out of your mind. Practice
so it helps you like flip the switch when you're having like a shitty moment, and then you go, I am going to consciously now say all the things that I'm grateful for. You'll end up smiling. No matter what, you end up smiling in the end.
Well, I mean, for me personally, going back to the whole parents thing, the parents don't really support في الأول. And I would ask my dad this question, I'm like, aren't you at least happy to see me that I am satisfied, I have peace in my heart? Maybe I'm not making the money that you want me to make. Maybe I didn't fill up the car as you wanted me to. Maybe I didn't. Maybe all these maybes, right? But I have peace in my heart. I have happiness in my heart. I'm smiling every day. People don't smile every day, man. Aren't you happy? He's like, yeah, that doesn't pay the bills. I'm like, motherfucker! He's like, no, ربنا يوفقك. He's like, ربنا يوفقك.
He counts money for a living.
No, but home, I get it. Like, I'm not a father, right? Not that I know of. Oh no, I'm just joking.
Oh no!
Hashtag steal ovaries.
Hashtag on.
No, I'm joking.
Steal ovaries.
I like to throw that joke in there, you know, just. I'm not a father, so I don't know what it's like to be a parent and to have that, you know, الخوف ده اللي هو no matter what, if your kid is 80, you're still gonna be worried about him no matter what. And he would tell me that his mother, Allah yarhamha, my grandmother, gave me the best joke, by the way. She would tell me that he's like, yo, I have like a wife and 3 kids, like woman, like enough. So I don't know. We're never gonna know until we're parents, and we know that. But I understand. I get it. Like, oh, he has his concerns, but the equation in which those concerns are voiced, happiness is not in it, and happiness is it's not. And I would tell him that, he's like, no, that's all bullshit. That's not reality. And they're obsessed with the idea, and that's not the reality that we live in. The reality is that we live in that you have to have a job, you have to have a 9 to 5, you have to have a stable income, عشان يخش لك مرتب شهري, and that's it. And that's their view of the world, because that's what they were accustomed to growing up. They're not accustomed to the. And my dad was an entrepreneur. He had a very thriving business here in the 90s. He was a food caterer that did business here. And then he left because his محاسب ضحك عليه وسرق وكده. He's like, I'm out. Fuck this. Fuck these people. Like خلاص, you know. And at the time his best friend, who was his partner, had passed away suddenly.
Oh wow.
Yeah. فhe was like, no, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this on my own. الناس مش مقدرة. So he's like, خلاص, I'm gonna take a leap of faith and go. And he went to the States. For him, practicality is, like I said, having the stable job. And he's like, and I did he calls it free business, you know. And I'm like, okay. Like I said, he's an entrepreneur. When we went to college, his whole entrepreneurial journey made us go to university. Like, he paid for our university. He had his own import-export business, and that's what paid for the university, you know. فهو he knows how to be an entrepreneur, but at the same time, he admits it to me. He's like, I never was more stable in my life than as an employee, because I knew exactly what was coming in, and I was comfortable. And
but
you know?
he has to understand also that we're in the 21st century, and the digital disruption is everywhere, and that basically no one is stable anywhere now.
Exactly.
Even jobs. I mean, actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to start my business is for someone not to fire me.
Really?
I'm serious. It's like, I know so many people that got laid off, and it just threw them and it, like, in the worst of times.
Of course,
like, sometimes حد لسه مخلف and they got laid off, or حد ما عرفش مامته تعبانة أو عيانة وما عندوش فلوس actually يصرف عليها, and they got laid off في الوقت ده. Or like, and business has no
no rules,
has no heart, has no
but
heart.
I'm grateful that I'm an entrepreneur, because you mentioned that if مامته تعبانة, because أمي لما كانت تعبانة, it was at the highest point of my career in which I experienced something that I never experienced before. I produced a show in an international festival. I performed in another international festival. I spoke on a conference in London talking about what I do, and people loved it. They're like, yo, we love Egypt. We're not. And then when that happened, I came back to Egypt and I did a national tour. And before traveling to the second festival, my mom, she got a hepatocoma, غيبوبة كبدية. And it's like, you're faced with the facts, like, hey, your mom's dying. Deal with this, you know. And everything that I did was just like stopped, you know. So I'm grateful that I have a job there, because if I did, then I wouldn't have been able to stand next to my mom the way that I did, you know, because I would have been concerned, like, oh, I gotta go to work today and deal with that bullshit of someone shoving their opinion down my throat. And
I think that we're not meant to live life in 9 to 5 chunks.
No,
we're not meant to live this kind of life, and with the internet, and now that we like see people on YouTube and on Instagram and everywhere, خلاص, everyone's comparing their life to others. It's no longer,
it's not healthy.
It's no longer, it's not healthy, but actually it's good. It's good in a way, and like, خلاص, you're no longer just surrounded. I mean, you're no longer influenced by just the small circle you're in and what they do, but like, you really have big ambitions and big goals in life, and you're kind of like really trying to find and figure out what your truest potential is in this world. فإنه كلنا on this quest. It's like, I feel like this generation is a generation quest.
I like that. Generation Q. I like it.
I mean, we organized Vested from 3 different countries.
Wow.
Just in like mostly our bedrooms and cafes. I mean, the fact that we can do that, we don't have an office. We just
I don't have an office.
Organize on the fly. I mean, and this is working so much better than Groundhog Day, going in. I mean, I did the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I did too.
And it was exhausting. And you go and you're like, what the hell?
When I went to AUC to finish my paperwork, I saw the people. It's just like, I sense energy. I sense people's energy, and think that's like حاجة بتاعت ربنا يعني مدينة. I feel like the misery. I know, like, they're like on their desks وما أعرفش إيه بيشغلين, and they have that constant fear of المدير قاعد وراهم, so they're متراقبين على طول. Why? It's just like,
you don't have to do that.
You don't have to like cry, like, you know, like مش عارف. I don't understand I never got it, but I feel that that was never me, for example. And that's why it never worked for me. And that's why I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Okay, what's next for you guys?
Announcing date.
Yeah, what's next for you?
Let's do that. So we have a big announcement.
Nice.
Vested 2019.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time we're gonna ever say.
Nice. Okay.
Or mention it anywhere. Exclusive.
Okay. Nice.
To Mr. Hashem.
The Adeek Shoft podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
We're this year actually we're doing it in a way bigger venue, and we're super excited.
Is it in
gonna
Goon
be
as well?
No, it's gonna be by the sea.
Okay.
just by the water on the beach, and it's gonna be in Sahel Hashish.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Woohoo!
As I always like to say, 10,000 mabrooks, because 1,000 aren't enough.
Oh
Nice.
wow! and yeah, so it's gonna be on the 7th to the 9th of November. So these
Okay.
are the dates.
Nice.
And we're really excited about it. And also, I think Sherin has some big announcement about Unconscious.
Yeah, so the platform is kind of the online community for startups. We're launching very soon.
Nice.
So you need to go online, follow Unconscious platform on
Sure.
Instagram, wait for updates. Go on unconscious.io, subscribe
it.
if you're a startup, if you're an investor.
Nice.
It's time to get access to startups in emerging markets and make them shine.
Way to change the world, guys. Way to change the world. I love it. Thank you guys for coming. Wallahi, it's a pleasure. Wallahi, you guys are a fucking like light. Wallahi, you guys noor kida. Wallahi,
Thank
it's
you.
a great way to start the morning. Thank you. I have one last question,
What?
and it's the last one. What's your biggest fear? It's the hard one.
The biggest fear for me is being controlled by my fears.
Boom, profound. I like it. Next.
I think it's probably a very similar one. It's just it's that I would be acting from a place of fear, not a place of love,
Yeah.
and that I would not even be conscious about the difference in the
Okay.
first place.
Sure.
So I would think that this is Selma, but this is not real Selma.
Okay. I love it. That's very profound. I love it.
كل حاجة conscious.
Ladies, بجد, it's a pleasure. All the pleasures on this side of the table. Thank you guys for coming. As you guys can see, Adeek, شفتوا يا جماعة, Salma Hariry, Sherin, Wafaai,
Wafaai!
Sherin, Wafaai,
Sherin, be
Wafers,
happy.
the co-founders of the first conscious summit in the world, changing the world.
Scale Up Ventures.
Scale Up Ventures.
أبوس إيدك.
The co-founders of Scale Up Ventures, the first venture capital firm that is changing the world one startup at a time. Is that good?
Oh, that's amazing.
That's
Wow.
great. Hashtag conscious tech.
Hashtag content. Thank you guys for coming. أديك شفتوا الستات دي جمال والله. Thank you, you lovely ladies, and follow them for their journey. And thank you for coming on, and thank you for being my guest.
Love you,
And that's episode one.
Nation.
Thank you guys.
We
Yo.
love you.
And we're done. Thank you guys.
Sherin.
Hey, hey.
All right, cool.